The quickest way to get your first wholesaling real estate deal. Guys, if you want to know the best, most efficient, quickest way to get your first wholesaling real estate deal, this is going to be the complete guide, the complete tutorial on how to do it. I truly believe in wholesaling real estate that getting your first wholesaling real estate deal, especially this year, is not as complicated as it seems. There are methods that people have used in down markets, crazy markets, where it just cuts all of the analysis paralysis out. Like, where should I wholesale? What should I do? Where should I do? What all these questions you might be having that's stopping you from getting wholesaling success. I truly believe in this video, we are going to change your mindset for it and just give you a step-by-step action plan on the quickest and best way to get your first wholesaling real estate deal right now. So if you're excited, if you are pumped up to do wholesaling real estate deals and make a ton of money in this business, we're excited to go. So Zach Ginn is here.
Rick Ginn is in the house.
And we are going to show you the best, most effective way to get your first wholesaling real estate deal right now. And so the reason why we're doing this is we just want to help people get their first wholesaling real estate deal, honestly. Like, first and foremost, we're excited for that. And the reason why is we're going to give some information today that is just going to really eliminate all the excuses, eliminate the issues, and really change the way you've been looking at wholesaling real estate. And we've kind of been hinting on this method for a while, but we're excited to do it right now. So let's get into it. So first and foremost, before we get it going, right, we got to understand the first thing, right? Like, what is wholesaling real estate? Before we learn how to get our first deal, we got to understand what wholesaling is. And really, I think a lot of people have these weird definitions in their mind. They have this weird thought of what wholesaling truly is. And really, if you want to get into the truth of what wholesaling houses is, it's you find people that want to sell the property, you lock up a contract, you agree to purchase it for a certain price, you get a contract signed, and you sell that contract to a rich landlord, house flipper, cash buyer, and you make a profit, assignment fee, finance fee, whatever you want to call it. That is what it is. I want you to understand before we break this all down, this is very important to talk about, but whatever you put in between what we just said is all air. Like, it's all just everything you put in between that is just complicating the business, and it's making it more stressful and more annoying. And it's most likely going to stop you from getting your first wholesaling deal. Guys, of course, there's so much more. There's acquisition skills, cash buyers, there's tips and tricks, MAO. There's all these things you can do, obviously, but it's like basketball. If you just put the ball in the hoop, right? Like, that's the goal. Our goal is not to be breaking someone his ankles or doing something, right? We're like the old man playing basketball, the fundamentals. And the fundamentals in wholesaling real estate: find people that want to sell the property, sign that contract, sell that contract for a profit. That is what we're talking about today. We're not complicating this. We're not doing crazy market analysis where we're not here to make things crazy, okay? We're here to make it simple, because once you simplify everything, you keep it simple, you will get your first wholesaling deal. When I got my first wholesaling deal, I didn't really know much about any of that other airy stuff. I just knew, get a deal for the lowest you can, find someone that wants to buy it, and make a profit. When you got your first deal, you weren't the expert, but you knew the basic and fundamentals and went there. You don't have to be an expert for everything before you get into it. And that's what we're trying to do today, right?
Yeah. I mean, you just have to work on being a master of marketing and connecting with sellers that need to sell their house. Listen, everybody who wants to sell their house, they all want to. We focus on need. And the primary difference you have to understand in wholesaling is, here's the reality, and most gurus aren't going to tell you. You're better off if you work without a realtor and go directly with the seller to get your best deal. Now, that doesn't mean you never work with realtors, but in the beginning, realtors, they don't really subscribe to wholesaling. They don't like assignment of contracts, and they think everything we do is about lowballing. And so if you start out with this strategy, you get frustrated because you're doing realtor things. Honestly, go out and find individual homeowners directly without a realtor that need to sell their house, that have a pressing situation, and help guide them through it. It's that simple. Never once have me and Zach said, hey, go out, call everybody on MLS and do all this stuff. Honestly, it's the hardest way to start out. But the reality is it sounds super sexy on paper. The true art of wholesaling, anybody that's really done this business, they've gone out and probably 90% of their deals are direct to seller. There are a few exceptions, but for the most part, when you start out, I want you to bypass the realtor because they will cause such confusion, chaos. It rarely works out in the beginning. And I want you to understand that, because if you start doing realtor activities, you guys start to chase people that just want to sell their house, and you're dealing with realtors, It's the number one recipe that will drive you out of wholesaling. Do not try to take wholesaling and fit it into realtor world. We are on two different planets. It's just how it's been. I've been doing this 21 years. We still have the same Hatfield McCoy battle going on. I'm telling you in the beginning, just go direct to the seller. It will make a tremendous difference on how to catapult your first few deals in wholesaling.
And this is what we're talking about today, guys. Of course, we do MLS deals. Of course, we do all these great things. But just remember, finding a motivated seller and getting that contract, the whole MLS thing with a realtor, that is going to be something that's going to complicate because they're going to ask you for comps. They're going to go crazy with this lingo and advanced stuff. And that's all fluff that's going to be in between you getting that first deal. We want to make it as simple, quick, fast, efficient as possible. I mean, everyone wants their money, right? They want their money now. Okay.
Yeah.
They don't want you don't want your first deal in 4 months from now. You want it now. So let's talk about this. How to get your first deal the quickest, the best, efficient way right now for wholesaling houses. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it, right? Number one, this is going to be big contradiction to what you've heard before, but this is what we call in wholesaling real estate, speed wholesaling, quick wholesaling, reverse wholesaling, whatever quick term or lingo it is. But if you're looking at your deal, the quickest, fastest, most efficient way right now in wholesaling real estate, you have to go out here first and foremost and find your top areas. And you might be like, whoa, I got to do analysis and all this crazy. No. Okay. I'm not saying that, but we are going to have to find our top areas. There's easy ways to do it, but we got to make it stupid simple because you're not a market expert. If I'm in looking your market, I'm most likely not your market expert, but we can find these market experts and they'll show us for free what to do. So let's get into our step-by-step process. Number one, the fastest, most efficient, quickest way to get started in wholesaling real estate. Number one, find the cash buyer first. And it pains me to say that as someone that's used to the different way possible in wholesaling, but truly there's multiple ways to wholesale houses. But if you want to get your deal the best and quickest, fastest way, you got to find the buyer first because you are just too young or too new in this business that you don't know if this is a good deal or a bad deal. There's a good area, bad area. So what we're going to find is the rich landlords and the house flippers first. Why am I calling them? I get asked this all the time because when I talk to newbies, right, new wholesalers, Zach, why are you calling them rich landlord and house flippers? Just call them cash buyers. I'm like, no. Because when I say cash buyers, people will go to anyone. Everyone says they're a cash buyer. Everyone. I'm a cash buyer. I'm a cash buyer.
Yeah.
They all say they're cash buyers. But guess what? I keep putting in your head, a rich landlord, house flipper. So if I get a guy off the street or on that DMs me that says they're a cash buyer, put me on your list. You got to ask yourself, wait, are they a rich landlord or house flipper? So let's go down okay, someone says they're a cash buyer. Are you a rich landlord? How do I figure out if you're a rich landlord or not? Show me the properties you own.
Yeah.
Oh, the fake buyer can't do that. Oh, okay. So you're not a rich landlord. So are you a house flipper? Have you show me the houses you flipped before?
Yeah.
And guess what? Fake buyers can't do that. And so when we make it simple and we just it's A or B. Are you a rich landlord or house flipper? Anything outside of that, we're not dealing with it right now. Okay. We're not dealing with the people that are land banking or want to live in the house. No. All right. Simple, fast, efficient. Are they rich and they own rental property and you can show me? Or are they someone that has flipped a bunch of houses before? If they're not one of these people, do not deal with them. Okay. So when it's cash buyers, they're either a rich landlord or house flipper. That is it.
We don't recruit other wholesalers in this venture.
No.
So guys, just to let you know, the code word for a lot of wholesalers is everybody's a cash buyer. The reality, if I contact 10, if I reach out to 10 cash buyers, if 3 or 4 legit, it's a good ratio. That's how bad it is out there. So just because somebody tells you it, I'm actually numb to it. The last thing you want are other wholesalers in your cash buyers list because they cloud everything up. They give you a false sense of security. And honestly, they are your worst buyers because they will never, ever close and they're going to daisy chain. So if you snuff them out, they'll never tell you they're a wholesaler up front. But once you start acting for factuals, give me a property address you've closed on. When you start getting that, it's complicated. It's my partner. That translation means no, I am not a cash buyer. And we just saved you 30 to 40 minutes of like complete waste of time. That's just the truth. This is why you have to vet them. 10 cash buyers, about 70% of them are going to be full of crap. And if you know that up front, you can guard your time a lot better. Everyone I've ever reached out says they're a cash buyer. So it's like the people that want to sell their house versus the people need to sell your house. You're flipping it around on cash buyers. Who are the real cash buyers and who are the pretends? It's your job to separate those two so they don't screw your business up.
Exactly. So in step one here, when you're finding the cash buyers, you ask the cash buyers first and foremost, are you a rich landlord, house flipper? They show you proof, right? Make sure they're legit. And then ask them, hey, so you're looking to buy houses for cash and you're okay with me being a wholesaler, all these things. Remember, freewholesaling.com, just have a list of questions you can ask them. And one of the questions, are you okay with me making an assignment fee or profit? Yes. Do you know wholesaling? Have you bought from wholesalers before? Easy stuff, right? But the most important question is, where are you looking to buy and what are you looking to buy? And when you ask these rich landlord house flippers, where are they looking to buy? They'll say, this zip, do not do this zip code and do not do this area, but I want this neighborhood, right? And I'm looking for rental property. What do you look? I'm looking for at least 2 bedrooms, maybe 3 bedrooms, but like nothing crazy, right? And I don't want to buy anything above 350,000, whatever, right? And so, okay, now I know the areas. Now I know where they want to buy. Boom, easy, simple, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You go to freewholesaling.com, it's all in there, right? But no, that's it. We find the buyers. And then once we know that, hey, I talked to 4 buyers, they all want to do in these 4 zip codes. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to market to motivated sellers in the areas that the buyers want. Simple, right? Like, so that your customer who is buying your contracts from you says, I want to buy things in this area. Go out and you find inventory contracts in those areas.
And the key to this is, instead of you guessing where the demand is, go out and talk to the demand and see their price points in the areas they're buying, because you could be wrong. Sometimes we pick areas based on feelings and emotions. And honestly, I prefer you look at like real data, because just the data just can't lie to you.
It's true.
And the last thing you need to do is start in the wrong market on a gut feeling. Unfortunately, a gut feeling when you're starting out wholesaling, it's usually pretty wrong because you have no idea. So start with data, and then the more direct you can get data, if you're calling and vetting the cash buyers, the more accurate your information is. And if you get data from the internet, especially for free, you got to be very careful on which information you're going to act on, because she said, or I heard, stuff like that. That is nothing that you run a business off of. That's drama. And we do not use drama in wholesaling because it will not make you any money.
Exactly. So what type of marketing should you do? There's a lot of them out here, right? There's trying for dollars, reverse trying for dollars. You can go out and get government lists from the government for free. You can use a prop stream or a batch leads list. I mean, there's a million ways to do it. I've said this once and I'll say it before. If you want to learn exactly how to market to sellers, how to find cash buyers, like, I mean, for example, like cash buyers, I'll just go to Zillow and go to the 4 rents. I can go cash sales on PropStream, listria.com, and go from there. We have a free wholesaling course. It's called freewholesaling.com. It'll show you basically everything. We have over 100,000 people have already done it. And we produce hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month in profit. You guys doing millions from people that watch us. They make millions of dollars every single month in assignment fees, and they learn it for free at freewholesaling.com. It's crazy. And I think we showed you the video yesterday. Like we're producing a lot of great results for people, and it works. And it's because it's just stuff that we do, right? And people are making hundreds of millions of dollars of assignment fees just from learning from us, and be the next person. But really, just go to freewholesaling.com. It's all in there. FREEWHOLESALING. freewholesaling.com. It's right there. Now, once we market these sellers and we find people that actually want to sell their property, right, we're going to number 3, we're going to meet them, or we're going to call them if we're doing virtual wholesaling, and we're just going to give them an offer. And this might be like, whoa. How do I calculate the offer? How do I do this all perfectly? How do I do the perfect calculations in the, hey, chill. All right. Like, let's chill out. All right. Number 1, I hate to say this, but like, go for the no. Like, literally, so everyone asks, like, Zach, what should my offer be? What should my go for the no? What does that mean? Go for the no basically means that you should do an offer where you know the seller is going to say no.
Well, why would we do that, Zach? That seems counterproductive to what we're trying to do.
Right. And so when you go for the no, when you make sure someone says no in your first offer, you squeeze the best possible price so you can make the most profit on the deal.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people don't like that, but that's the truth. But that's scary to give a low offer. Of course, it's scary to give a low offer. But guess what happens when you give low offers? You get high profits. And that's the point.
And really, the idea is it actually an effective way to negotiate with people, because let's face it, people are going to give you a high number to begin with if you ask for it. And so why not? There's always a bantering back and forth. Yeah. So the traditional way, how most of you guys have been taught, is you do your maximal allowable offer and you try to get close as you can, because that's what realtors do. Like, they try to get a yes on the first try. We're going to do this in reverse order. We're going to build up an amazing rapport, have a great conversation to the point we connect with them on a personal, and then we're going to build it up. We're going to chop it down with that low offer. The purpose is the end goal. What do you want at the end? You want to be able to buy the person's house and solve their problem. And understanding, if you can't do those 2 things, the deal's not going to happen anyways. Yeah. So why don't you remember, you're always a guide walking your seller through to get the best possible outcome. Most of the people are huge procrastinators that work with us. They are overwhelmed and it's the biggest decision of their life. So you have to walk them through a process. So by doing that low offer, you actually help get to their bottom line faster without all the stress. So when we get a no, it doesn't mean we're offered. That's just a starting point. So Mr. Seller wants 100,000 for his house. I offer 50, whatever the number is. I don't spend 2 hours trying to put together the perfect offer. It gets rejected. If I offer 50 or 80, guess what? It's got a 90% chance of being rejected on the first offer anyway. So you might as well start with a low and then just let them give you the counter. Once you have a counter, now you're doing this thing called negotiating, and that's when it starts. If you're going to operate like a realtor, like a lot of people teach you, is when you get close to your MAO, where are you going to go from there? You got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Well, I felt bad. I didn't want to give a low offer. It seemed kind of sharky. No. In so much in life, if you just reverse engineer the outcome you want to get, you're never going to force a seller to sell you a house. Either you're a good fit or not, and they need to move on with it. If they are strictly price oriented, they are probably not going to be a good candidate for a wholesaler. But if they have a problem, they want to solve it and they want certainty and they know they're going to discount, you just got to get them down to their bottom line price. Other methods going to take you weeks to drag on. The one we teach you is usually a day, if not two. It seems a little bit different, but guys, I got 21 years experience. I've tried it every which way. I'm telling you, the go for no method has the best result in the long run because you don't spend a lot of energy on it and you only deal with people that have the most motivation to sell their house. And you are actually helping them by doing it. I love when people are like, well, doing a go for no offer hurt. How does it hurt someone? If they have to sell it for a discount, let's just get to that number quick, sooner than later. And then, the longer it takes, the less probability they're going to accept your offer and they might go with a realtor or another wholesaler. So this method, honestly, it's been studied. I've tried 1,000 ways. I was scared to do it my first few years and I regret it because I actually drew the process out and I couldn't help people out. By using the go for no method, you solve your problem, you solve your seller's problem. And remember, at the end of the day, they're going to make a decision either to sell to you or not. The go for no method just moves you faster along the negotiation curve. And the key with it is you have to build up amazing rapport. Without rapport, none of it works. So guys, you can do it the realtor way and try to get that yes on the first try, or do it our way and expect a no and just work closer to getting a deal done. I'm telling you, it works. If you try to do it the other way, I promise you, eventually you'll see the light and go, you know what, Rick and Zach were right. I should just use that method. Why most people don't do it? It's very uncomfortable and it's scared. Why? Because every path you've taken to this point has been comfortable and it's gotten you to a point that's frustrated you. So we're going to have to do things differently. And if you'll subscribe to this theory, I can change your life. If you're going to try to use your old filter that got you where you didn't want to go, you're going to get stuck on this part. So
exactly,
that's my rant.
Yeah. I mean, just guys, a lot of people act like a lot of newbies act like when you give an offer to a seller, it's like proposing to someone or asking them on a date. And when they say no, it's kind of over, right? We're talking about, this is price. This isn't asking someone out. Like, it's like they say yes or no, and that's it. No, go for the no. When they say no, it's a negotiation. Okay. It's not over when someone says no. A lot of people think they said no, I guess I got to give up. No. All right. They're saying no to that. The thing is, when someone says no, okay, if that doesn't work, what works for you then? And then if they actually want to sell the house through a legit motivated seller, they'll give you a price that works for them. Then you just meet in the middle till you find a price that's the lowest you possibly can do. And boom, you can make a profit.
But by trying to do that perfect offer, guys, you spend so much time doing comps and
oh yeah.
Honestly, listen, if 1 out of 50 works out, then just kind of spend the energy on focusing on motivation, because the other way, you got to be a realtor and you got to do, and you will literally waste hundreds of hours doing it. I'm telling you, we are not realtors. You're not going to get a perfect comp. Either we're buying at a discount, it works. If not, we just move on to the next one.
Exactly. And so once they agree to a price that works for you guys, go to step 4 here, you sign that contract and then you give that to a title company. Now, I hate to say this, but the most complicated part of this whole process, especially as a beginner, is signing the contract. And I know that. Trust me, as a beginner, that was the most stressful parts of it for me. And the truth is actually the easiest part. Guys, a contract is just filling out a form. And I think we filled out papers all of our life in school. And so at freewholesaling.com or free wholesaling course, which I've said before, if you're watching this on YouTube, there is a free wholesaling course link on the bottom. So just go click on that and there will be a video of you doing a screen share.
Yeah.
We literally have a contract and we write it with you on an iPad just to show you where to fill it out, what to put and everything. So it's super simple. It's not, so you just put, this is the seller, their name. This is our name, our buyer. This is the price. It's really simple what you do. And then we just share exactly what to put in. So it's not that complicated to do. You will learn it in probably 30 minutes to an hour, I would say, just getting it perfectly dialed in.
Yeah.
And you don't have to stress out over it.
And there's only two people that grade your contract. So you used to school teach it. It's your seller, which you just make it very fluent and transparent. And then your title company, which is on your team anyways. And God forbid you make a mistake, they'll actually help you out. As long as you have the terms and the verbal agreement with your seller and they agree to put it in writing, even if you make a mistake on contracts, which I made a ton, your title company will help you fix it.
Yeah, so don't complicate it. And then you give that to your title company. Remember, wholesaling.com is shade to find the right title company. Honestly, just call around title companies. You can look on Facebook for ones that wholesalers are using. And it's pretty simple to find a pretty good one. And then obviously we can always help you out with that. Step five is we call up that seller and we just basically let them know that we are going to have our partner go buy the property. And then we are going to sell that contract to said buyer for a profit. I had that little tongue twister there for me. I don't know why. But basically, all you got to do is call up that seller. And when you sign that contract, I let the seller know, hey, my partner's probably going to come by and look at the property just to inspect it and just look at it. It won't change anything with the deal. And then literally when you call up the seller and you let them know, say, hey, my buyer's going to come by and actually see, is that okay? Sure. And all we're going to do is then sell that contract to said buyer. And how does that process work? It seems complicated and crazy. All I legit have to do out here is call that buyer up, say, hey, remember when you told me that you're looking for 3 2s in this zip code? Well, I have a 3-2 in the zip code under contract. Oh, great. Can you send me over some pictures and maybe the address and what price you're looking to, sell the contract for me for? And okay, sure. And you send over the information, say, yeah, that price works. I can do that. And boom. Or I have to be at this price or whatever and still make a profit. So let's say you lock up the deal for 200,000 and you say, hey, Mr. Cash Buyer, here's the deal. I could sell the contract to you for 230,000 for the house. They say, I do 230. Guess what? That's a $30,000 profit. All you do is you call the seller up again. That's kind of what I said here and say, hey, Mr. Seller, my partner and I are going to come by the property on Monday. What time works for you? Okay, 4 p.m. Sure. And that brings step 6, where you do a walkthrough with the cash buyer, with the rich landlord house flipper. They go by the property. They look at it. They see it. Say, okay, this looks good. This doesn't look good. Okay, that works for me. What they do is they sign something called the assignment of contract. And basically, that seems complicated, but an assignment of contract basically is a piece of paper agreeing for you to sell that contract you already have locked up for a $30,000 profit, whatever it is. So in wholesaling real estate, we have 2 contracts. We have the purchase contract, and then we have the assignment contract. The purchase contract is basically an agreement for us to buy said property from the seller. The assignment is us selling that contract to the rich landlord house flipper for a finder's fee. It just shows how much money we're going to make on it, makes it very transparent. And that's it. A lot of people are like, oh, we don't want the buyer to know how much money we make. We want them to know. Okay. They'll figure it out. They're not stupid. And on top of that, they're the ones who pay our finder's fee. Of course, they need to know how much it is. And if they don't like that we're making money, we go to the next buyer. Trust me. Don't.
Guys, you're like, I will tell you this. If you try to hide something from the seller, it's usually going to blow up in your face. That is the one person you do not mess around with. As far as the buyer, if they don't like you making a profit, they're not your buyer, like flat out. Now, if you have a huge profit level, I don't really care about the buyer. You can do a double closing, but I will, hence this, you guys are selling your contract. You're selling the rights to your contract. You have to focus on your sellers. And honestly, you should be disclosing, this is what you do for a living. I make a profit. I have no idea. Sometimes we don't know if it's going to be a rental, a fix and flip, what's going to go on with it. But as long as you inform to your seller that you're making a profit, most of them just want you to buy the house. So once you do that disclosure, you're covered. So please don't ever think you can try to hide something from your seller, because if they have anxiety about it, they're going to look it up. And if you get that phone call a month or 2 down the road, it's even worse, because they feel like they weren't disclosed. They feel like they got duped, and you do not want to be in that position. So be honest. And honestly, most sellers that I deal with, they know what we're doing up front. It's not really a problem. It's when third parties come in and start leaning in their ear. Sometimes we have to do a double closing, but I'm telling you guys, just be upfront and honest with your sellers. It's just easier. I've done this every which way, and I'm telling you, trying to hide it from your seller, there's no hiding it. It's going to come out in public record. So just let them know I do this for a profit. If you have a problem with it, you can't move forward.
Exactly. And then we basically send that back to the title company saying, hey, we have that done. They set up the closing, and basically step 7, pretty much the most simple thing you possibly can do is, but you call the seller up every week. You call the buyer up every week, make sure everything's all smooth, everything's good. And then You have your closing date, you get your check, and now wholesaling seems real to you and it's perfect and you make a profit. Guys, we help a lot of people get their first wholesaling deal. You don't believe me, go to freewholesaling.com. We show exactly all the profits everybody makes, but I'm telling you, you get closing day, you get your check, and that's it. This process, you can probably get your first check in as little as 14 days. I've seen that happen on average about 30 days, get your first check. And the only thing that's going to stop you or going to help you get your first deal or your first check in wholesaling is how hard you are willing to work. If you're willing to put in the effort, if you're willing to actually work your butt off, you'll actually make a lot of profits in wholesaling. If you don't want to work hard, if you don't want to be the person out here that wants to actually have a motivation to go out here and change their life, change their financial destiny, change their entire life, their trajectory forever, never work a 9-to-5 job ever again, and start wholesaling houses and have success. If you're that type of person, you'll do well. If you just want to make a quick 50K and just zip out of this business so you can do your weird, stupid, Forex thing, this ain't the business for you. If you have a legit hunger to get really good at this craft and make millions of dollars, you'll get it. Wholesaling real estate's the best thing ever. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care if you have a high school diploma. It doesn't care what you look like. It doesn't care how tall you are, what gender. It doesn't even care if you're American or not. The only thing wholesaling real estate discriminates on is hard work and dedication. That's why I love this business. This is why anyone out here watching this, if they want to put their mind to it, they can make a ton of money in this business. That's it, guys. If you want to get started in wholesaling real estate, I tell everybody, go out here, get your knowledge up right. You don't have to spend any money to get your knowledge up right to learn wholesaling. Just go to freewholesaling.com, freewholesaling.com, and you get your first wholesaling deal the quickest, fastest, most efficient way. Download your contracts there. You can download all of our scripts.
Everything's there.
Everything there. So guys, if you want to get going, go to freewholesaling.com. That is how you get your first deal the quickest, most efficient way. I'm telling you guys, that's how you do it. And that's how you get really rich in this business really, really fast.